What's going on, guys? TJ, the big sports guy here. Listen up, we need to talk. I know that this video is going to be hard for some of you to watch, but I don't care. These things need to be said, and here are a few of the things that we're going to talk about today. First, we are going to talk about negotiating and comps and how to use more than just the very last one that sold, especially when you go to eBay. We're going to talk about how the eBay sold listings work through the eBay mobile app. We're going to talk about the market and when to buy and sell at the highs and the lows. And then we're also going to talk about selling in Facebook groups. All right, so one of the first things that we're going to talk about is the eBay mobile app, which most people have on their cell phone when they go to a local card show, or if you're just trying to do trades with a friend. It's the most commonly used way to price cards, it seems like now. And how to go through the eBay sold listings as well. So I'm going to show an example, and I'm just going to kind of talk through this as well. So one of the first cards that we're going to look up, we're just going to start with an example, which is a really, really common card. So we're just going to do the 2018 Josh Allen score card. It's just a base rookie for him. So on this right-hand side, obviously you can go over, you can filter to sold and completed listings, and then you're going to see everything here. So this is going to be most recent first. Right, so we can see a couple of cards here in like the $5 to $12 range. It does have a couple of PSA cards as we scroll down too, so obviously if you wanted to add those in, you could just go up to the search bar. You can type in PSA, you could put in the grade that you wanted as well, but for this example, we're just going to stay with the base Josh Allen. So as you scroll through here, you're going to see a whole bunch of different listings. There's going to be a ton, obviously, for this card. So as you keep scrolling down, you're going to go down 2 or 3 pages. You can see that when we get down to the bottom here, you are still only going to be around early November. And you can see the comps at this point. There's one there, November 5th, $20. So the prices obviously have come down because now they're more around like $9 to $12 where they were around $15 to $20. So prices have dipped a bit. But basically what I'm getting at here is when you scroll back through these common cards, base cards, things like that, you're obviously going to see a ton of listings and you're going to have a ton of sold listings within the last couple of months. Now I'm going to switch it over here. We're going to take this one out. We're going to look up a card that you don't see as often. It's the 2018 Passport card for Josh Allen, but it is not the base Passport. It is actually the red holo. Which I have one of, so this is the reason why I was using the example. When you scroll all the way down to the bottom here, see how it stops at December 4th? That's the very bottom listing. That is because this card does not come about very often. So when it comes to some of those cards like that Josh Allen red holo where there are not that many examples, you know, if it's a National Treasures patch auto to 5 to 10, you know, anything that's a bit more rare that you're not going to see all that often, you can't just pop in there and find a comp. So you have to really do your homework, right? You have to look at comparable cards from another year. Let's say that you have a 2018 Patrick Mahomes numbered to 5 that you're looking up. You're going to have to go to 2017, 2019. You know that 2017 is going to be more because it's a rookie with him. 2019 is third year. You have to use that same player or a player that is similar. So let's say you're not looking up Patrick Mahomes. Let's just say that you're looking up like a good running back. Let's just use Derrick Henry for an example. So to look up Derrick Henry's values, if you don't find a card that's numbered to 5, maybe you would look at another running back who's having some success like a Jonathan Taylor. There's other running backs, obviously, that you could use from history. You could look up like a Barry Sanders, who's a really good running back. His values are going to be a little bit different because he's probably not going to have as many low-numbered cards because he was, you know, in the 90s. But you just have to use other things. You can't just go to the eBay sold listings, go to the last price that it's sold for, especially knowing that prices are down right now. Just because prices are down doesn't mean that people want to sell their cards or buy cards even at these prices right now. So if prices are already down and then you're offering someone below what the one latest comp is for a card, they're probably not going to want to take that. They probably paid more than that for the card, especially if they bought it in the last 5 or 6 months. So you have to really do your research, and sometimes you're going to have to pay comps or even pay slightly over comps for the market to ever go back up. You just have to understand that there are highs and lows and that the market's going to return and you're going to get your value back out of that card. It just may not be tomorrow. One more example also So I was at the Asheville show, which I did a video on the other day. So that was Saturday over the weekend. And I've been trying to sell my Russell Wilson Kaboom that I got out of Absolute. So I was in the process of selling this at the show, right? So I'd actually put a list price on it at $350, which is slightly on the higher side. So I had someone that was interested in that. He was another vendor. So I was going to try to work with him to kind of come up with a price that he could buy that from me and then potentially resell it again. So we looked up comps on eBay, right? So there's like probably 20 of these that have sold in the last like 2 months. So we kind of went through everything. So the very lowest comp was like $196. Now that person has to pay tax and shipping on eBay, so it's probably going to come out to be maybe $210, let's say, or $215, all said and done. The highest comp on it was $296. Same tax, the same shipping, right? So we're going to be like a little bit over $300. So let's say like $215 to $315 are basically the comps on that. So my $350 is slightly above that, but it's not crazy overpriced, right? So he was making me an offer of $200. So I was willing to come down quite a bit. I said $250. He really wanted to stay firm at $200, but there's no way that I can concede that much value to be able to sell it to someone for under the lowest comp or at the lowest comp. So when you're doing these negotiations, right, like there has to be some give and take. We both have to get a good deal. I want to give you a good deal and sell it to you for less than what the highest priced item sold for, whether you're hanging on to that from an investment standpoint, or you just like the player and you're PCing, or you're going to try to turn around and sell. But either way, I mean, if comps go from 215 to 315 and I'm at 250, that's a pretty good deal for you. So staying, at 200, which is essentially under the lowest comps, I know everyone's trying to get a good deal. Nobody wants to spend the extra money if they don't have to. I get it. I buy things also. But sometimes there is some give and take, especially in those bigger, more collectible cards like that. Next, I just wanted to talk about the highs and lows of the card market and when you should buy and when you should sell. Obviously, you want to try to maximize the amount of money that you can get for things that you've paid for. So selling at or near the top, obviously going to be better, right, than selling at the lows. So, we kind of saw a crazy influx of people to the sports card hobby or business, if you will, probably within the last 2 years, right? Once COVID started, I think people got bored. They wanted some things to do, so they dug out their old collections and maybe didn't know what they were worth, or, even if they weren't worth that much, they kind of sold them fairly cheap. And then because people were getting into the hobby, there were more people that were buying. So, these people were digging out the collections to make a little bit of extra money. They were selling them, whether you bought on eBay, in person, Facebook Marketplace, whatever the case may be. You were able to get some really good deals on bulk collections from people. And then, again, because all of the people jumped into the hobby, it was starting to drive prices up because there was more demand and there were people that were buying cards that they hadn't been buying for the last several years. So what happened was you could get a bulk lot pretty cheap, and the prices were going up. So it was really easy to piece those things out and sell them and make a lot of money. Now we're seeing the opposite effect, right? Where we got to the peak back in February. Since then, everyone has kind of realized that things were getting a little bit too hype, and the prices started to come back down. A lot of those people that were selling at reasonable prices or cheap prices for their personal collections realized that the market went up as well. So they started demanding more for their cards, but the prices were coming back down. So now you're kind of seeing the opposite, where a lot of like local collections and things like that are very overpriced compared to what they're worth, right? So when I say that, I'm talking about like the junk wax era stuff. 80s and 90s is really overproduced and not worth anything at all. So that stuff doesn't have a whole lot of value, but people are still demanding high prices because they heard that the sports card market really took off. So they think that they can get more money for it. So it's been tougher to, kind of find those big bulk deals like that. But obviously, you have to understand that the market goes through ebbs and flows, right? It's a lot like the stock market. And so when prices come down the way that they have, there's a certain point where they're going to start to level off or even kind of hit the bottom. It seems like we're pretty much there. Maybe not quite there yet because people are still trying to buy under comps, like I said. But once those things really start to level off and kind of on the way down, let's say that you bought like a PSA 10 of a card. Let's just use like a Jeter rookie, for example, a Topps 93 Jeter Gold rookie, a PSA 9 or 10.
So a 9 was probably $600 or $700 back in February. Came down to like 300. Maybe you buy another one. Then when it bottoms out at like 150, you buy another one, right? So your cost averaging your product, whatever it is. So you've now got 3 cards for a total cost, right, that you could add together and then divide by 3, so that you can figure out what your average cost is per slab. So then as prices start to go back up, right, you're going to cross that threshold sooner than if you had just had one PSA 9 and held it the entire time all the way to the bottom and then all the way back up. So you just kind of have to think about those things. Understand there's definitely going to be some ebbs and flows. Like I said, there's going to be highs and lows, peaks and valleys. So if you can try to buy on the way down and then at the bottom, and then as things start to rise, you'll actually save yourself some more money and you'll make more money in the long run, rather than just having that one card and waiting on it to go down in value and then back up, because obviously that takes a lot of time. So there's definitely good deals you can pick up for a quick flip along the way if you can get somebody to sell you something that's kind of on the lower side of comps. Maybe you can make 10-15% if you turn around and flip it quickly, like at a card show, or if you trade it with somebody and try to trade into something that you want. You can definitely add some value that way. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was the Facebook card groups. If you're in any card groups, or if you're like myself where you're in multiple card groups on Facebook, just a couple of things to keep in mind. When you post something for sale, you are always going to have people that are serious, you are going to have trolls, and you are going to have price bashers. The people that are serious will get in contact with you. They will try to negotiate fairly. They will pay PayPal goods and services so that they are protected and you are protected, and things will go really well. The trolls will just laugh at your post. They'll put the laughing emoji, or they'll make comments about your cards. And third, the price bashers, they'll just tell you that you're overpriced. Just ignore all of them. It doesn't really matter what they have to say. Just, if you really want to sell something with the least hassle, the one thing that I can tell you is that eBay is the way to go. List it on there, start it as an auction, do a buy it now, whatever you want. Start it around what you want to get for it, or start it at 99 cents and let it go. If you're selling on Facebook, you're going to deal with a lot more hassle, but you can sell that way. There's definitely ways to do that. But yeah, eBay is still by far superior when it comes to selling. You do have to pay a fee, obviously, to eBay when you sell that way, but things can be a lot easier. So if you're selling in Facebook card groups, just remember, ignore everyone, go about it, don't let it affect you, sell, and just see what you can do. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in for today's episode. If you could please like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. And I will be making another video this weekend when I go to the Raleigh Card Show in Raleigh, North Carolina, December 9th, 10th, 11th. No, I think it's 10th, 11th, 12th. Look it up and double check. But thanks again, guys, and I will catch you soon.